Hey, thanks so much for coming to our wedding. We're so happy that you're here to celebrate this special day with us. And we just wanted to pop in and share our story with you guys. Yeah, because it's just written by God and it's so unique. I'm a little biased, but I think we have the best love story. So we just want to share it with you and you can share the joy with us. Leo's going to start because a lot is from his perspective at first and then I get added in. So,
Well, the name of this is story. I think it's our story, but it's His glory. And yeah, thank you for coming. So, how everything starts is as I left my country, Ecuador, I started doing missionary training and I started getting a lot of planes, a lot of flights. And in one of those flights, there was a lot of turbulence. And I was like holding to my seat and like, oh no, this could be it. And in my inner talk, I was like, wow, if this is it, I'm gonna die without kissing a girl. I am 21 years old by the time, never kissed a girl, never had a girlfriend, and I was like, for this can't happen. So, you know, the plane landed, everything went totally fine, but I learned my lesson. Every single time after that experience I got in a plane, I would look around for possible options, and if needed, I would sprint over the air. I never kissed a girl, come here, we both are gonna die. It's nothing like that, I don't know. But so I was returning from a trip from Hawaii, and I had my layover in Fort Worth, Texas. And when I was waiting over there to come to Des Moines, Iowa, I saw this really gorgeous girl. We got into the plane, and I was like, wow, this plane is not too crowded, so there might be the possibility for me sitting next to her. That will be.
okay, so I'm going to interject. And so when he was coming back from Hawaii, I was out visiting my two girlfriends, Lily and Carolyn from California, of my bridesmaids. And so I was flying back from Cali and I had my layover in Fort Worth, Texas. And on that plane, I had to see all by myself. And I was like loving it. I just had my earbuds in. I was like in my zone, just like feel myself and then know what was going on around me. So, anyways, that was my story.
It's crazy, all these things happening in my head. As she was sitting down there chilling, I was like, that could be it. Could be the girl. If there's a turbulence, I know where to run. So anyway, I was like, I find a way to sit next to her. The plane wasn't too crowded, and as she said, nobody sit next to her, but I didn't know that. So I just changed the position of my carry-on bag. I keep doing some moves. I went to the restroom, stay over there till the flight attendant was like, sir, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm okay. So, I was walking down the aisle to my seat, and that was the moment where your legs don't follow your heart. I just passed by, I chickened out, didn't sit down next to her, and I sat down in my real seat, next to a big guy that snored a lot. The worst flight of my life. While he was snoring, I was like, oh no. I just put my headphones on and start listening to motivational speeches. No pain, no gain. We ain't quitters, we gotta do this. So by the time we arrived in Des Moines, I was so pumped. I'm like, I'm gonna talk to this girl. I gotta do this. You just know she's the turbulence day. So you guys know, well, in most of the airports, there was this escalator. I was on the top part, she was in the bottom part, and I was I was just watching her. Some people call it stalking. That's awful. I don't do that, really. This never happened before. It was just one of those God things. So I saw her, and when I was looking at her, I saw a guy coming and hanging her. I was like, oh no, who's that guy? And yeah, I was trying to be just positive mentality, like it could be her brother. Don't be discouraged, Leo. So I just, yeah, about to don't talk to her.
Yeah. And then he left. But yeah, so that's another part of my story I love to share because it just highlights that obedience to the Lord really brings blessing and how we just need to trust Him because I was in a dating relationship at the time. When he saw me on the plane, the guy that hugged me is the guy that I was dating. And the Lord had been placing it on my heart actually to break up with him, that this wasn't the guy. And I just never had this deep peace about it. That was really hard for me, but I decided to, break things off because I was trusting the Lord for better. I knew that there was better, um, that I didn't want to settle. And so after breaking things off with this guy, it was like the 2 months that Leah and I didn't see each other. And I was told God, okay, these 2 months, I really want to prep in and know your love, God. Like, I want to understand fully, and I'm just devoting this time to you. And I was like, I'm not going to get into any relationship, not looking for anything before I leave for YWAM to do my missions. And the Lord has planned me to do, but
Yeah, so, and it's crazy because I mean, this is an M side, but then on my side it was the same. I was returning from this trip really discouraged because 21 years old and you never had a girlfriend. Like, dude, you're doing something wrong. Maybe everyone has girlfriend out there doing things, and I decided to trust that the first girl that I kissed, the first girl that I'm dating, is gonna be my wife, and it seemed like that was gonna be impossible. Like God, when you follow God, and the ones who decides to follow God, He knows the desires of your heart. So anyway, I didn't talk to her in the plane. It was February 2nd, -30 in Iowa. And from Ecuador, that was freezing. So I didn't talk to her. And as Anne said, 2 months later, I didn't know she's Anne by the time, but 2 months later, I started going to, CrossFit training over there. It was a great opportunity. Mike came over. He's awesome. He's one of my groomsmen. I get to talk to him and say, "Hey, man, I really want to train over here, but it's pretty hard right now. Any possibility I can do this?" He gives me the option of, train over there, and at the same time, just if I'm up the gym every once in a while, I get to train over there. It's the type of mentality. Don't say you can't, but actually, how can I make this happen? And there's people that are willing to help. So he helped me start training for CrossFit. And I was mopping and I was gonna go to a church because I haven't been going to church during that time a lot. And I was trying to go to church in Ames, and the church I was late because I took forever mopping. So I am terrible mom, terrible mopper. My mom knows that. So anyway, I looked up churches nearby here, and there was this church in Story City, Iowa pops, and I was like, okay, I might as well go over there. So I leave CrossFit mopping, leave at dawn, and I come to this church in the Story City, and I meet this genuine guy, a youth pastor from Harvesty Free Church. He presents himself, he introduced some of his story, and he said, hey, ask about some of my life, and I share how I've been doing this missionary training with YWAM, and I love it, and I love entrepreneurship, I love fitness. And that's how he shares some of his family. Like me, that he has an amazing family. You can see he loves his family. And he said that one of his daughters had been trying to join this missionary training, the one that I was part of 2 years. He also said that one of his daughters loves soccer, and I grew up playing soccer. I was like, soccer in Iowa, whoa. You know, So yeah, it was a genuine gentleman. He's my brother-in-law.
that's
So yeah,
And yeah, so my dad comes home that night and well, after church, and he goes, "Hey, I met this guy from Ecuador, and he was like a missionary from YWAM and all this stuff." And my siblings like, "Ooh, Emily, like he's YWAM, right? Blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Okay, cool, but I'm not getting into a relationship. No, what do you say?" And they mentioned I'm just adding all the girls at Ypres right now, but I just heard from Ebra like, "Oh, there's this cute guy that stopped in at church today, and he's like exotic and like all this stuff." I was like, "Oh my word, who is this guy?" And so then I heard he loves soccer, so I was like, "Okay, Dad, why don't we just play soccer at youth group tonight? And we'll invite him." And so we did. We had soccer that night. And Leo was there. At began with my dad, and I was late in course, and so yeah.
she was late, and that was when I was talking to her dad, and he said, "There comes my daughter," and she opens the door of the car, and it was the girl from the plane. My heart will not stop. Now she's getting closer and closer to say hello to her dad, and I am I'm have to need to connect to her dad, so I am really nervous by the time. I was like, I speak Spanish, don't speak English. I was about to speak in tongues. I didn't know what to do. So, she just comes and then I see these blue eyes that you can notice over there. Intimidate a lot. And, I just say hi, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah. It's so crazy. And sometimes we'll like recount our story, be like, literally met in the blank. Like, not actually, but it's just insane how God worked out all the little, there's so many other details too that go into it. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's story. And then from that time on, Leo was so intentional with me and like took me out on a date and like really just shared his heart with me, and I like fell in love with his heart and we just had fun. I mean, we have known each other for like a year or so, but it's felt like I've known him my whole life kind of, and the Lord's just giving us such a deep piece of our relationship. And I never ever believed the saying like when you know you know. But then when I met Leo, I was like, crap, I believe it. So it's just awesome, and it's just a testimony to God's faithfulness. And when you surrender control into his hand, like he writes the best stories, especially the best love stories. And I'm just so grateful for Leo, and I'm really excited to see what God's gonna do. So thank you guys for supporting us and loving us through all of it. And we're like hunting along about you guys. And so thank you, and we love you.
Yeah, seriously, and thank you to everyone that is part of this because this is part of journey that God is taking us through, and you're part of it. We're blessed by you, and yeah, we want to encourage you. Trust Him because your story is for His glory, and yeah, it's amazing. We trusted Him, and He's taking us an amazing life with Him. So yeah, thank you for coming, guys. We love you.